Hi, my name is Jency Mercado. Today I'm going to tell you a personal story about how I almost died, came back stronger, and started living for myself and my family. My husband, Angelo, was deployed to Iraq about 5 years ago. He had moved us from California to Georgia. I was 5 months pregnant when he deployed. I had 2 other children, and I was raising my nephew. In October, I gave birth to my daughter, Gabriella. I had gotten sick for the first time in January. I was having a hard time breathing, coughing way too much. I went to the urgent care center, and they sent me home with a bottle of Robitussin and, told me that I would be okay. I felt like I had wasted their time coming to visit, and, that I wasn't really as sick as that I was. During that time, my nephew had to have major ear surgery. He had a tumor growing in his ear, and so it was really important that, we get this taken care of. And so we went to his appointment, and on his way out, I just couldn't breathe anymore. I was coughing, I was hacking, I couldn't even walk to the car. It was just horrible. By the time that I got home, I went and talked to my friend who was watching my other daughter, and I said, something's just not right. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just not right, and I think I need to go back to the ER. And she said, Jency, why don't you wait till the morning time? It'll be easier for you. You can sleep. And she said, you probably feel better. And I said, no, I think I need to go tonight. And she said, okay, well, I got the kids. You just go. Now, during this time, my baby was just 2 months old. She was a newborn baby, and I was exclusively breastfeeding. And so I couldn't be away from her for very long. So I breastfed my baby, and I left her into the care of my friends. And I went ahead and went back to the ER. The moment that they did my vitals, they whisked me immediately back, and I knew something was terribly wrong. They did a chest x-ray, they put on an oxygen mask, and gave me a shot of antibiotics and steroids. And I finally thought, wow, I must really be sick. They're finally giving me some antibiotics that I thought I needed, and I can go home. And now, by that time I'd been there for about 3 hours. The doctor came in and told me that I had pneumonia and that they needed to call in a specialist. And I needed to wait until the specialist arrived. And I had explained to him that, I had a newborn baby and I needed to get home as soon as possible to her as she was breastfed. The problem is I didn't realize how sick I was. I had thought that I was just bad enough that I needed antibiotics. By the time the specialist arrived, he spent 30 minutes with me as a one-on-one consultation. Now, in the military hospitals, this just doesn't happen. You get slapped with your medication and they send you on your way. And he was asking me lots of questions. He was looking at my skin, and he was asking me my family history. Has anybody had any issues? Did I have asthma? And, my answer was no. We're a healthy bunch of people. I've never really been sick before. And so now I was a little nervous because I'm like, what are they, why are they asking me these questions? And as they were steadily doing this, my oxygen levels were plummeting. And I was now nervous because I'm like, what am I going to do? I need to go home. I need to be with my children. And they are telling me, no, you need to stay. They told me, the specialist sat me down and said, Jency, we need to have you stay overnight. And I said, I can't do that. I can't be away from my baby that long. And they said, you can bring her in. But you cannot leave this hospital. They called a respiratory therapist in who had done 2 or 3 breathing treatments, I think, by then. And they had the full-blown mask on me, not just the thing that attaches to your nose, because my oxygen levels were plummeting. By the time that they had admitted to me to the ICU, I was only receiving 50% of oxygen. So for me, it was just horrible, and I basically went into the ICU, and I woke up 3 days later. They told me I almost died. I didn't know what happened to my children. I didn't know where anything was. All I knew was I felt like I had a ton of bricks sitting on my chest. I was attached to tubes everywhere, and I didn't know what to do. I spent 8 long days in the hospital. And the only thing I can be thankful for is that I had family and friends who came in and took care of my children for me. It was very bad for me at the same time because I was exclusively breastfeeding. And so my baby had to go through a very traumatic experience herself, not being able to breastfeed. But the hospital was very good. They had sent lactation consultants in. They helped me take care of what I needed to do. And then they even had social workers that had come into the hospital, that work at the hospital. They came in. They had explained a lot to me. My friends that were watching my children, they actually sent them gift cards for food. They made sure that my kids were all right. They were absolutely just wonderful. The only sad thing is that I could not physically take care of my children. The doctors came in and they wanted to know how come I had waited so long to come to the hospital. And I had explained to them that I was at the hospital 3 days prior, and they sent me home with a bottle of Robitussin and told me that I would be okay. Knowing what I know now is that was misdiagnosed. And so it was very, like I said, heart-wrenching to me because this could have been taken care of 3 days prior. And so now I'm able to get home. I'm able to take care of my children. They had to send my husband home from Iraq to take care of me and my children. And to the good old army, they sent him back in 2 weeks. But God bless, I learned that my life was worth saving, that I was a good person, and I look at my life a lot differently. So God bless everybody. I knew what I was doing.